the fine as well when they came back with it. So I was it's just total BS, and it's just a game, and I don't want to play it anymore. You know, and it's just all they're just all totally acting in fraud. Now I've, like I said, you know, made a lot of enemies in the Rock County area because these people are acting in fraud, and I'm confronting them directly on it. I'm not being, you know, roundabout or, you know, writing it down on paper or anything like that, but I literally am straight up in the courtroom arguing with the judge and asking him, why do you think that you have some sort of authority over me for this particular stuff? The Constitution gives you authority over this stuff, and anything that's not there, you can't have authority over it. You know what I'm saying? And we're guaranteed a Republican form of government. And I asked them straight up, why can't they tell me if we have a Republican form of government? I asked 2 FBI agents who came to visit me in jail, and I said, do we have a Republican form of government? He said, I'm not even going to answer that question. You're going to get into, you know, and just dodging it. We either have a Republican, well, the reason why is because the FBI doesn't exist in a Republican form of government. All of these alphabet agencies are just extra constitutional.
So let's try to focus back down a little bit, because this can get kind of grandiose on this real quick if we let this go on. So, all right, so police are at your house, April 29th. You drive by, ask you a vehicle, you say, I'm not going to. You drive down the street, you tape them for about 30 minutes, drive back down, cross the street to your house, continue to tape, ask you out of your vehicle, you say you're not going to. I'm going to leave for 2 hours, and that's where we're at in the story. So
And then I pulled over around about a couple hundred yards away. They pulled me over, and like I said, they jumped out of the vehicles, and they were screaming and yelling at me. We have a warrant for your arrest. Step out of the vehicle, and I don't want to step out because they're screaming and yelling at me, and they got guns. And I was just.
Did they show you a warrant?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. And it's in the video. Clearly, say they didn't show me one. And they were not interested in having a conversation with me. They wanted a piece of me. And that's all there is to it. There was no mediation going on there at all. And as soon as the window was smashed out, bam, I hit the gas because I you know, it was just a fight or flight response, man. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Okay.
You know.
And so we're still kind of, I mean, there may or may not have been a warrant. Did they ever approach you with a warrant from the 29th, even when you were sitting in county? Or
no.
Or after extradition?
No.
Or anything for the original reason they were there?
You know what? I saw so many different pieces of paperwork that it just all kind of blurred together. You know what I'm saying? Like this and that service and this and that. But like I said, there was no valid warrant. They might have had something that says that it's a warrant, you know, somewhere. But the fact is this is why people are supposed to present you a piece of paper.
Was the other case still pending on the 7 grams or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had appeared at all of your court dates for that, and there was no possible.
I blew off a court date intentionally, and I put up a YouTube stating that I was gonna, you know. And then afterwards, and because I said it's not me, it's not me, and I was in court, and I proved that it wasn't me because the judge wouldn't admit that it wouldn't just point to me and say you've been charged with a crime. Have I been charged with a crime? Say yes. If I've been charged with a crime, say yes. Isn't that simple? Well, then why are you saying anything but yes? That's deception. That's what's going on in the courts. You haven't been charged with a crime, just your corporate entity.
So just another set of eyes on
charged with a commercial offense.
There was a pending offense that got, that didn't get thrown out. It got, what was the wording you used? They didn't dismiss it. They withdrew it.
Yep.
In other words, the prosecutor took that opportunity to hold off charging you at that point so they could collect more evidence.
There wasn't any evidence.
Or what, you know, I'm just saying what the district attorney's officer.
Which I'm not denying. I had pot in my possession.
You know, so okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why they would have been there to begin with, you know, and try to get to the root of that. Right. So they break your window. We get back into the.
I wanted to see if 12 people would unanimously throw me in jail for having possession of pot.
Right.
And I really, literally, you know, wanted to do that, and they just didn't want to let me have a jury for only $500 fine risk.
Right. Okay,
so I had to up the ante, go double jeopardy. You know
I get it. So with that case pending, you know, and everything else within that, there's a couple different reasons they could have been there to collect, you know, to hit you on a body attachment.
And I hate to jump off course again, but I do have to bring this up. This is why this is such a big problem. That the jury is a right. The jury is actually supposed to be present in the room at all times. The judge and the prosecutor, they're not supposed to get unlimited cracks at you until you finally get your right to a jury. and they're not allowed to hold the jury off like this as some sort of a carrot. You know what I mean? Like, do you really want the jury? And it's like, it's a threat. You know, if you go for the jury, we're going to bank you. You know what I mean? And that's not the way the system is supposed to be set up. Of the people, you know, it's that simple. It's supposed to be of the people, not of this dictator in a room sitting on a throne.
Well, he's elected, so
yeah, but I don't know exactly if they're elected all that great. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about the process, but it's neither here nor there. Yeah. The case that we're dealing with is
I got enough money to get reelected.
So you flee the scene. They smashed out your driver window.
Yep.
I would say you were operating.
I took off and I traveled down Prairie, and then I traveled down Cranston, and I traveled down Joe Pier, and then I got on highway on the highway because I decided to cross state lines so that I could make it would be a federal issue, and it couldn't just be getting tucked away, and then hopefully the FBI would get involved, which they did, and they didn't even help me at all. So you know what I mean? I was really, I shouldn't be that surprised, but I was very surprised that the FBI came there and they were like, "Oh, you've got a tough road to hoe," like that. I was like, "What?" You know, I was like, "You're just gonna leave me?"
So you're on the run, so to speak, for what, 7-8 hours, something like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, the next day. Yeah,
Okay.
I crashed at a hotel, and you know, I'm not going to tell you what it is or where it was, but you know, I crashed at a hotel, and then I had kept on going in the morning, and I was trying to sell. I had some silver coins that I had kept in my truck, and I was out of money. I lost my debit card.
Right.
And I was trying to sell my silver coins, and people trying. I guess somebody called the cops because I was selling silver coins, and they thought that was suspicious. So you know, I was doing a totally lawful thing. I was just selling something that I had, asking people if they wanted to buy it.
And that's when you got picked up in Randolph County, Illinois.
Randolph County, yeah.
Okay. And where are we going from here? They get you in Randolph.
Sure. They get me in Randolph, and I gotta say, I honestly thought that it's my word against the entire government. You know what I mean? So at this point, you know, now I'm in a situation where either I stay free or they put me in a hole somewhere and nobody ever talks to me ever again, which is essentially what happened for 3 months.
Right.
You know, but they, you know, as soon as the blueies went on, bam, I hit the gas. It wasn't even a decision after that. It was like, I gotta go. And then there was another high-speed chase there, and that lasted not very long at all. They had thrown stuff across the road. I tried to go off this way, and I didn't throw my truck in four-wheel drive. Otherwise, who knows, I might have got a little further. But you know, I mean, it's scary. You know, if you're right and the system is wrong, and they all just go by, you know, 2 cops in Beloit can get the entire network on you. You know what I'm saying? It's scary when you think about that, because none of those cops are going to believe your story. You know what I mean? Even though they don't even know these 2 Beloit cops.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So.
So as far as
I don't think there is any getting away.
Misconduct, which is what we really investigate, what happened then? You get,
I got pulled over to custody. I had exited my truck.
Chase. Okay,
there was a foot chase. I ran off into the woods there. There was a little wooded area here. There was a field over here, and then there was a lot of woods back there. And I knew I wasn't going to make a lot of woods, so I hid in the woods over here. And then they got the dogs. And like I was telling you on the phone, I had gotten down on my hands and like this, and on my face and facing on the ground. And I just said, well, you know, if they get me, this is it. If they get me, they got me. If they don't, they don't. And I'm ready to, you know, they cuff me or whatever. And the dog came up and they said they knew I was on the ground. They knew I had surrendered. It was totally obvious. And they said, get him, like this. And they let the dog bite me like 4 times, like 3 times. And then they ordered me over, like at multiple gunpoint. They said, turn over like this, like that. There's 3 guns aimed at me like this, and they said, get him, and they let the dog bite me 1 more time for good measure. So, and all those pictures, they took a bunch of pictures at the hospital there of all my my wounds.
Do you have record? I mean, do you have those pictures?
It's
copies of
no, it's on file. Somebody's going to have to get a hold of
Was that in down in Illinois?
Yeah, yeah. They did take the pictures.
Do you know what hospital it was from?
I don't know offhand.
Somewhere in Randolph County. What city? I mean, he went to the county jail. They usually have a county.
I think it was in Sparta where I was. So I mean, the whole thing's a blur. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
They threw me in, and then here's another thing that was just mind-boggling when I found out what happened to my video. Because I told the sheriff, and the sheriff was on site, the sheriff of Randolph County. I said to him, look, I can explain everything. I can tell you the reason why I left, and am I leaning back too far? I can explain the reason why I left, why I split the way I did, and everything like that. I got 45 minutes of video. All you have to do is sit down with me, take a look at it, and you understand what happened. You know, he ignored me. They threw me in a cell for 2 weeks with a non-working phone, and they accused me of breaking it. Okay. Now the other thing is, then Beloit police called down to there, and they said, we want everything he had. We want everything he had in his bag, which would be they wanted the videotape and everything too. And then the evidence that I had against Beloit Police Department, my protection that my cameraman took, because we always have that just in case cops are going to abuse our rights. That's the reason why we do this stuff. That's the reason why we take
Well, just
video.
real quick, speaking about
Beloit Police, they
the
sent it to the
cameraman,
cops.
what's the story? Are we going to be able to get a witness statement?
Right now, and for the protection of anybody else that wants to also be my cameraman in the future, you know what I'm saying? There's no need for him to come forward because the videotape is
That's
the
fine. I
evidence.
just wanted to, I made the effort to try to make contact with
Right.
the witness.
Oh yeah,
And to
absolutely.
get a statement from that person
And
corroborating, what you're telling my
Yeah,
organization. So.
I don't see how his statement, his hearsay statement can do anything better for this case than the video, which is
okay.
down.
And let me just go back real quick and just to clarify something to me. So you had a cameraman with you. Did you drop him off at some point? Did he exit the vehicle or?
I'm gonna no comment on all of that stuff.
Okay, so
yeah.
I mean, was he present during the window smash?
He was there. Yeah, he was there.
And was he present for the?
He was there and he was taking the video. Yeah,
okay.
He had the camera in his hand. Yeah,
so
he was taking the video.
But he wasn't with you when you got to Randolph County.
When I was in Randolph County, he wasn't with me anymore.
Okay, fair. That's fine. No, I mean,
I'll say about
check his anonymity.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the main thing is like I said.
My thing is
you're
gathering
a little bit too.
My thing is gathering evidence.
Right.
I know who I work for, so I mean, I'm just trying to gather all the evidence I can on your behalf.
Right.
Not, I mean, even though those records can't be taken either way, it just tells you so.
Oh no, I totally.
Someone can take it off our.
And I also want to gather people's trust so that if they're, if they want to do some work for me, they know that I'm going to protect them.
Right. And that's fine because and we're going to make a decision on.
He's willing to help if it's necessary, but this is such an open and shut case. If they ever stop stalling, that it's people. Some of these guys might go to jail. Who knows? I don't know. If somebody in this county wants to enforce a law, but that's the problem, isn't it?
Now, just going back on a couple of points that you had said to me on the phone previous to our interview, after the traffic stop, you said that you made a 911 call as you were crossing state lines.
Right. As soon as I got on the highway, I told my buddy, dial 911. I say, give me the phone, and he did it. I said, listen, I'm the guy in the truck that you guys in the Sweet Quality truck that you guys are chasing. Listen, I don't want anybody to get hurt. The only reason I took off is because those guys smashed out my window and they were going to hurt me, and this and that. And make sure, none of these people try to cut me off. I don't want to get run off the road or run into somebody else's car and hurt them as well. And all I was caring about was that nobody got hurt. And they're like, oh, you're going too fast. You're going 90. I said, well, your guys are chasing me at 90. Tell them to slow down. And then they slowed down, and then I slowed down, and we're going the speed limit. And I'm like, look, just leave me alone. All I wanted to do was go home. I don't know what the problem, fine, I'll go. Just leave me alone. Eventually, I'll go.
911 advised you to stop the vehicle.
They kept telling me stop the vehicle and pull over, and I was like, no, because my only defense against these people, my window is gone. I can't stop now because then they just yank me out of my window. Before my protection is that I can roll the window up and have it cracked a little bit. If they want to have, if they have documentation that shows that they lawfully have a right to take me and put me in their custody, then that's what I will get out of the vehicle for, or the private automobile.